Hi. Before we start, take a moment to think about how much you've used your phone today. Was it for connection, information, or mere distraction? What could you have achieved if even half of the time dedicated was spent more productively, like that English assignment you've been procrastinating on? Ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you the age of digital distractions and why you should take a break from mindless entertainment. I would like to start off with this thought-provoking quote. Television news shows entertains but does not inform. I'm saying something far more serious than we are being deprived of authentic information. I'm saying we are losing our sense of what it means to be well-informed. The following quote is excerpted from the book Amusing Ourselves to Death, Public Discourse in the Age of Show Business by Neil Postman, where the author delivers the idea of television being the source of trivialization of information, how it blurs the line between childhood and adulthood due to premature exposure to poorly presented news. And with that, I would like to introduce my first point, the decline of attention spans due to mindless, fast-paced content. We have been introduced to a new popularized form of digital content called short form, often referring to as snappy, snackable information that can be absorbed within a few minutes or even seconds. And as entertaining as this might sound, we often find ourselves becoming so drawn in that we lose track of time, how much time has gone by. I'm speaking anecdotally when I'm saying we, where as much as I was above this issue, I much too often find myself mindlessly scrolling through short-form content, such as TikTok, Reels, and is in an attempt to satisfy the fix for dopamine. In fact, my average screen time last week was, embarrassingly enough, about 8 hours, with my most used app being, surprisingly, TikTok. Yet the thirst for dopamine has become so relevant that there are now videos within videos, like the example shown. This new rising form of content is a constant distraction, which poses a challenge to individuals trying to focus on a task that requires longer terms of concentration, creating a hindrance in deep focus due to how our heads have become so used to the buzzing, frenetic pace of content, that eventually lack an authentic purpose. The median social media usage among adolescents was revealed to be 4.5 hours, started from just a few minutes to over 16 hours a day. Now be honest with yourself. Which side do you position yourself to be? This not only applies to teenagers, but is a rising issue for even younger generations like your younger brothers and sisters. As we are surfing through the digital age, youth-oriented media has been dominated by overstimulating elements, such as an example being the kids' YouTube channel called Cocomelon, which has about 168 million subscribers. This channel's main form of content is overstimulating high-energy animations, where most kids look like this when they're watching in an attempt to keep up with the hectic cartoon characters. This has detrimental effects on cognitive development, where children are stripped away from their conventional idea of childhood due to premature exposure to overstimulating content that distracts them from engaging in educational and creative activities, while also having diminished experiences with reading, writing, and analytical processing, which leads to further complications such as poor memory, decreased attention spans, and trouble with concentration. Now, what makes these kind of entertainment so alluring and hard to escape from? Why are we always reaching our hands back to our digital boxes, even if it was put down just a few minutes ago? There are multiple reasons why this phenomenon occurs. The first one being how we are so convinced by our surroundings and even ourselves that we need to absorb all content that comes our way. The modern obligation that we need to be aware of every single current event, or else we will be left out or be called ignorant. This occurrence is called FOMO, aka the fear of missing out. We together are falling into a sense of derealization, where we fail to differentiate between the real critical information and mere entertainment due to the lack of authentic information in the media we absorb, where our minds drift to a sense of monotony, a state of anhedonia that eventually leads to the desire for stimulating engagement. Now that the sources of these conflicts have been identified, we must discuss the expected outcome and how you can balance your usage of digital media. Firstly, you must learn to understand that prioritizing real-life bonds is a critical step, where we step away from being passive consumers of digital content and instead develop richness in our personal, more sacred bonds. Ponder how our most beloved bonds would erode as our eyes are glued to the screen. The solution is not to shun the usage of digital media, but to learn to use it more mindfully, where we designate tech-free hours of the day, while we advocate for authenticity in media. Moreover, parents should consider applications such as Custodio, which allows SMS monitoring and screen time limits, as well as blocking dangerous content to make sure our children are not gaining a perilous addiction to the internet. Let us demand smart usage of social media, where not only us but our future generations are influenced by our current actions. Let us not forget the irreplaceable joys of human interaction. Now I leave you with this thought. Will you continue to rot your brains with hours of mindless and empty content, or choose a different way of living where we value authenticity and sensationalism? As Neil Postman says, no medium is excessively dangerous if its users understand what its dangers are.
UNW, JG UNESCO Association, and the World Culture Economy newspaper.